A lot of you have been making requests, and I'm really thrilled by that. I have to tell you that if I honor every single request, doing only a song a day, we're going to have to be in lockdown for years. So I apologize if I don't get to yours. But today I am going to do a request because it's a very special thing. One of the subscribers has a niece who is turning 40 today, and she wants to send this to her niece. And her niece's favorite show is Sweet Charity. I know when I turned 40, I had this big party here at this house, and I don't know what it would be like to turn 40 and not have a party. So this is my party for this niece. You're all invited. Welcome. And I love Sweet Charity. I was lucky enough to know people who were involved in Sweet Charity. I used to take dance classes from Anne Reinking at Steps, a dance studio called Steps here in New York. And Gwen Verdon often would show up, not to take the class, but to observe. And so I got to meet her several times. And that was sort of mind-blowing for me. And when I was in my 20s, in the early, mid-80s, I used to be invited to go out to the home of a Broadway producer named Marty Richards out in Southampton. He and his wife, Mary Lee Johnson, had this incredible house out in Southampton. And he was a very important Broadway producer. And so all of these very famous people would be there for the weekend. And it was just an incredible experience for me to meet people like Chita Rivera and Sally Ann Howes and Leslie Gore and Cy Coleman. Cy Coleman, who wrote the music for Sweet Charity. And one weekend we were sitting around the pool at Marty's house, and Cy told this story about when he first started writing Sweet Charity with Dorothy Fields. Dorothy Fields was the lyricist of Sweet Charity. She was a legend at that point. She was one of the most important lyricists in our songbook. And in fact, she was the first female lyricist to be entered into the Songwriters Hall of Fame. A very important figure. And she, at this point in the 60s, when they were writing Sweet Charity, was pretty much a double-fisted drinker all the time. She had a voice like a man at this point. She was tall and elegant, but she was weathered, let's say. She was seasoned, well seasoned. Anyway, Cy Coleman told me this story that it was early in the process, and she invited him to go to see How to Succeed in Business Without Really Trying. Neither of them had seen it, and he was dying to see it, and he knew if he went with Dorothy Fields, he'd have the best seats in the house. So he said, of course, I'd love to take you. She said, okay, good. Pick me up at 5 o'clock at my apartment, and we'll go to Sardi's first for a few drinks, and then after that, we'll go see the show. He said, great. He goes to pick her up at her apartment. By the time he gets there, knocks on the door at 5 o'clock. She's already smashed. She drank a lot. That's why I'm wearing this martini tie. It's in honor of Dorothy Fields. Anyway, they go to Sardi's and she knocks back 12 more. And then they get to the theater and they get to their seats and the overture begins and she immediately passes out and sort of slinks down in her seat. Just at the end of Act 1, she wakes up and the ingenue is singing, happy to keep his dinner warm while he climbs onward and upward. And Dorothy Fields, in her man's voice, screamed out, who wrote this shit? And then she passed out and slunk under her seat, and everybody turned around to see what man had said this, and there was Cy Coleman sitting all by himself, apparently. And I wanted to tell that story when Katie Sullivan and I did our Dorothy Fields show at the Algonquin, and they wouldn't let me tell that story, so I'm glad I get to tell it today. So anyway, here's the song from Sweet Charity. In the show, it's sung by two jaded dance hall hostesses, and I love jaded dance hall hostesses. So, baby, dream your dream. I have to remember the words. It's been a long time since I've done this. Let me see. Baby, dream your dream. Close your eyes and try it. Dream of furniture. Dream that you can buy it. That fancy bed you prayed for, not only bought but paid for. Dream you sign the lease. Leave small deposits. 3 1/2 rooms with a walk-in closet. You'll have the local jet set to dine on your dinette sets. Right across the street, there's a friendly bank. You make a friendly loan, and the bank says thank you. Every Saturday, you'll spend all your money. Join the PTA. They will love you, honey. Life could be frozen peaches and cream. Baby, dream your dream. Dream of 3 fat kids, all in pink condition. So who's in the red? That nice obstetrician. Big Daddy's favorite pastime. He's had it for the last time. Every night they fight. Then they both exploded. Then they'd both get tight. Hell, they got loaded. Every night he's out. He says he's gone bowling. But a bowling ball is not what Daddy's rolling. Well, who knows what will sour the cream? But come to think of it, how happy I would be if one day I could find somebody who would say to me, baby, dream your dream. Close your eyes and try it. Dream of 3 fat kids. Brother, would I buy it? Life could be frozen peaches and cream. So dream, dream, dream your dream. I messed up some of the words. It's been a long time, but if you want to hear it done right, listen to the cast recording. It's fantastic. But I don't want to let you go yet because I do feel obliged to sing Happy Birthday. Now, I'm going to tell you something. I hate that song. Every time I go to a restaurant, I hear waiters singing it in groups badly out of tune. So I am not going to sing Happy Birthday the way that you know it. But Dominic and I and a bunch of our friends were on a cruise together in January. I was working on it on the ship. And boy, we got off of that ship in time. And while we were there, I met this young South African girl who worked at the gym. And she sang this wonderful South African birthday song. So I want to sing it not only for this niece of the subscriber who's turning 40 today, but I want this to be the new birthday song. So I want you all to learn it. And every time we have a birthday, I want you to sing it. So this is how it goes. Happy birthday, we are saying we love you. God be with you to the end of time. We are saying well done. Hey Fig, you want to say happy birthday? Want to say happy birthday? Happy birthday. Bye.